Biometrics, payments, and identity are increasingly interconnected. I'm Joel McConvey. On today's episode of the Biometric Update Podcast, I speak with Deepak Jain, CEO of Wink, which works at the intersection of biometrics and payments.
So Wink was created in late 2021 with the confluence idea of merging identity and commerce together. As we had been noticing the trend in the industry of how biometrics is looking to disrupt various consumer experiences, and it's a great opportunity for frictionless commerce to come together without compromising security. So we decided to develop a platform that is built grounds up with that idea in mind, that identity and commerce will become together. And very soon, it's going to be more about authenticating the customer and really knowing who they are. And identity is going to take the front seat when it comes to things like payments and commerce and checkout, versus what's been happening in the past around authenticating more the payment instrument, which is a card or a phone. We believe that this is going to move to actually authenticating the human behind the card and the phone, and that will solve a lot of problems with respect to fraud and the ideal opportunity to bring both advanced security and frictionless experiences together, which used to be at reverse ends, is an opportunity to bring them together forward at the same time. So that was the genesis of Wink. And with Phoenix Managed Networks, they were one of our earlier customers, or one of the first customers of the technology. We got to know the team together. We saw the immense amount of penetration the Phoenix Managed Networks had in the US market, with several premium ISO customers utilizing their payment gateway technology. We also saw the connectivity to all of the major acquirers and major payment processors as a solid value add to what Wink was bringing to the market. We also saw the install base of merchants as a great opportunity to bring biometrics in a scalable way, and that was the reason we got together and merged the companies with the common vision of upgrading merchants and consumer experiences at those merchants with the promise of the modern Wing technology, coupled with the strong install base, compliance, governance, security, and the reputation that Phoenix Managed Networks have of operating a very scalable and robust platform from a long time.
Mm-hmm. So you've organized this sort of new entity or modified entity in terms of three modular pillars: identity, commerce, and intelligence. Can you tell me a bit about how biometrics plays a role in bridging these three different modules and how it all works together on the platform?
Yeah, certainly. So biometrics is the fundamental behind the identity piece of the platform. And it also enables several capabilities of the commerce and the intelligence part of the platform. So definitely the identity part of the platform is around facial recognition, palm recognition, voice recognition, device recognition, and the ability for merchants to really securely and easily identify humans and authenticate them that are attempting to make a transaction with them, whether it's opening a new account or loyalty or making a payment transaction at check-in or check-out. Identity utilizes biometrics at the core. And biometrics, as you know, utilizes artificial intelligence at its core. So it's a very strong interplay of these technologies in the identity pillar. And when it comes to the commerce pillar, merchants are looking for smarter experiences at checkout, and that's what the commerce platform brings to the table. It has all of the features of a traditional payment platform in real-time transactions with cards and wallets. And now with this new identity layer, you can make real-time transactions that are authenticated by biometrics. As part of the smarter experience philosophy of commerce, merchants are also looking for personalization to be able to personalize that experience based on who the shopper is, what they're looking to do, what their past behavior might have been at the merchant, similar merchants, things of that sort. So it brings in that layer of information into the checkout experiences as well. So there's a strong interplay of identity with commerce from that perspective. And then when it looks to actually process a transaction, there's the layer of fraud and the idea of knowing who the user is, contributing a very significant piece of the AI that runs to determine whether the transaction is safe for the merchant or not. So the identity and the information from the identity part of the platform also plays a very strong role in authorizing the transaction and really making the transaction safer for the merchant. So there is that smart interplay again between biometrics, identity, and the commerce layer. And when it comes to intelligence, that's really the part of the platform that's growing at a very rapid at a very rapid level. It's really the idea of building upon the merchants' knowledge of their shoppers, the experiences that their shoppers prefer, trends in the industry around new payment methods, around new services that the consumers like, around omni-channel type of experiences where merchants interact with the customers in different ways through physical retail, through online, through mobile apps, now through chatbots. So the intelligence layer provides that type of capability and again utilizes the identity part of the platform and the theme of knowing your customer at a really deep level to inform these new experiences that can make business even more profitable and even more secure for our customers.
In terms of deployment, how can businesses customize the platform? I mean, is it sort of something where you can choose the settings you need from the various layers? Does it all come as a package?
Yeah, no, the platform is built in vertical stack fashion, but it can also be used with other providers. So it's possible for the merchants to use our identity layer and couple that with someone else's payment gateway and utilize it in that way. Similarly, you can take just a payment gateway and the intelligence layer on the payment gateway and utilize it with cards and wallets and turn on biometrics at a later date. So it's fairly modular from that perspective as how the vertical stacks are usable.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, we are enabling a lot of SDKs as the front end for the identity layer and the commerce layer and the intelligence layer that are white label capable, that can be branded by the merchant, that can be branded by our ISO customer or our financial institution customer for a bulk of merchants. So it can be configured in various different ways. And we have designed it with that idea that really there is a trust relationship between the financial institution and the end user. Wink provides the framework to enable that trust layer, but the financial institution or the merchant should be able to control how the user experience looks like so that they can take advantage of that trust relationship that they have with their consumer.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about agentic AI. This is a very hot topic right now. How is Wink approaching AI agents? Do you see them as opportunity or as risk or both?
No, huge opportunity. And we believe that biometrics is going to be a necessity as it comes to the rapid adoption of agentic AI. While agentic AI and agents, when it comes to making payments on behalf of humans, you may see other companies offering technologies, especially the payment networks, where you can create dedicated payment tokens or dedicated credentials to allow these agents to transact on behalf of the humans. But authentication and liability remains an open question. What if the human at a future date declines that they provided that authorization, or that the authorization was misused, or things of that sort, right? So biometrics will play a key role in ensuring that the human is always in control, even though they may have delegated parts of their responsibility to agents to act on their behalf. So we feel this is a great opportunity, and biometrics will be playing a very strong role in that link between the agent and the human as it pertains to authorizations and delegated responsibility and the human keeping control, that the agents don't go and do stuff that they're not supposed to do.
In terms of biometrics, is there a particular modality that you see facilitating the easiest adoption? Is it palm? Is it iris? Is it face, which is sort of the common biometric right now?
So we are agnostic to the modality, but we have a strong opinion as to which modality performs better in which environment and which use case. Mm-hmm. And there are definitely pros and cons. We are a strong believer in scale and in allowing the merchants to use the existing investments they've made in their infrastructure. We are also a believer that the complexity of payment terminals is a hard thing to manage for retail applications. And there is a growing trend for merchants to adopt Android type devices that are easily manageable or more easily controllable and extendable with additional applications. So they're already making investments in that infrastructure and asking that the merchant to make additional investments to upgrade their technology is a nice to have and should not be a must have. With that in mind, facial recognition tends to work better with cameras that are already there on smartphones and on tablets and on tablet type point of sale terminals and Android type point of sale terminals that have already been under deployment for the past few years. While Palm is a great technology for retail, it does require a stronger camera, and definitely Iris is not a fit because of the very special requirements of sensors that need to read the iris. Iris might be a solution for more border control type applications, but not for payments. And there is also advanced biometrics that's coming out now in the market where you could do multimodal biometric authentication from a single picture. For example, you could mix the concept of face recognition with potentially ear shape recognition or smile detection, to aid in the idea of liveness detection. And definitely we've been pioneering this idea of multimodal biometrics where face and palm can work together in sequence if there are issues with lighting or background or faces being occluded with accessories and things of that sort. So we are a believer in multimodal. We are a believer in being device agnostic. And we are a big believer in making the algorithms work on existing infrastructure that the merchant has and adapting the platform to fit those environments.
I know that's a big concern for many businesses is the cost and effort to integrate new technologies. So this is a wise approach to try and minimize friction on that front. I want to talk a bit about fraud. This is another huge concern. When you're talking about facial recognition, now you're also talking about the risk of deepfakes, synthetic identities. How do you view the fraud problem in terms of your ability to tackle it?
Yeah, so first of all, by inserting biometrics, you are taking a big leap over the state of the technology today, wherein the fraud is a matter of stealing somebody's plastic card to make a payment or stealing that 16-digit number and address, which is fairly easily available. So you're already taking a huge leap forward by inserting biometrics in the payments ecosystem. So you're almost taking 100 steps forward. Now, deepfakes are a challenge, but the AI technology that's available at the to developers like Wink and other developers in the ecosystem is very capable of fighting the threat posed by deepfakes generated from these same AI algorithms. So it's really the battle of ethical strong AI against AI in the hands of hackers. It's also a cybersecurity problem, really more than actually a deepfake problem, because if the deepfake is presented to a camera using another screen, it's fairly easy to detect. So there's not going to be a problem with technologies like liveness detection that we've been using for a while. You're very easily able to detect deepfakes if they are presented to a camera via another screen. Somebody holding up a video playing on another phone in front of a camera on a POS, very easy to detect, right? So the cybersecurity problem of somebody hacking into the point of sale terminal and injecting a fake stream and pretending that the video is coming from the actual physical camera while it's actually coming from a cybersecurity attack, somebody injecting that stream. So it's really a cybersecurity problem. And Visa and MasterCard have got a good handle in ensuring how terminals are secured before they are placed in a retail environment and how they are locked down and how you cannot load additional piece of software on those terminals with strict compliance of EMV and PCI standards. So the very same standards that have been used for decades to protect the terminals in retail would be pretty useful in ensuring that the cybersecurity part of the threat is taken care of as far as retail is concerned. So definitely there are multiple factors at play. We are investing in all of these capabilities. Great liveness detection technology that can prevent deepfakes from being presented via other screens. Great cybersecurity protection to prevent injection of fake streams into our software SDKs, and compliance with these major industry standards like PCI, EMV, and SOC 2 to ensure that we are not opening new doors while we are deploying new technology for hackers.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty clear, I think, that identity is going to play a much larger role in people's day-to-day lives in the near future, particularly in payments. The identity sector is booming. And so I know, Deepak, you've had some success in payments in the past, exited a few companies. How do you make a company like Wink stand out as everyone sort of scrambles to seize this market?
A great question. We are definitely betting on the confluence of identity and payments versus being a pure play identity provider. There are, as you mentioned, a lot of companies that are investing in becoming a pure play identity provider. There are a lot of companies that are playing in the KYC space where you are able to do identity verification. We partner with those companies versus competing with those companies. There are a lot of companies that are involved in actually payments intelligence and actually delivering great payment experiences. Again, we partner with some of those companies versus competing. So the bet that we are putting in place is we have the most advanced platform when it comes to identity and payments working together. When it comes to leveraging identity in the payments workflows, when it comes to the scale of making this work, irrespective of who your payment processor is, who your acquirer is, who your device manufacturer is, and making it work in the most seamless fashion and the best experience that can be provided to the end user. And keeping in mind that privacy is a strong element of this that needs to be protected, that the end user has to be in control, that you have to be able to provide the end user the capability to opt out and know where their biometrics are being used and prevent unauthorized collection of biometrics and things of that sort. So we are building this with that in mind from grounds up versus, other companies that might be building more of a patchwork of existing technologies that are offered and offering something hastily put together. We've built this from grounds up, and that's where we think we will be winning in the long run.
Mm-hmm. And so what's next for Wink? What's the next step in the company's evolution?
We continue to invest in advanced biometrics. We'll continue to invest in the adoption and go-to-market for biometrics. We continue to invest in collaboration with point-of-sale device makers in this trend of adoption of smart terminals, Android and iOS-based terminals. We continue to invest in the reach of the platform as it relates to payment processors, acquirers, getting those certifications that are needed in place to be able to offer these technologies at scale in retail and online. And we would potentially be looking to bring the technology out of the US in other countries. We've already got adoption happening in Central America and demand coming from other countries like Canada, UK, Australia, Southeast Asia. So those are all exciting avenues for us to continue to invest in and explore more.
Thanks very much to Deepak Jain of Wink for joining us on the Biometric Update Podcast. You can learn more about Wink at wink.cloud. And for all the latest news on biometrics and digital identity, including the Biometric Update Podcast with a new episode every Friday, be sure to check out www.biometricupdate.com.